Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'll be doing a review of the new Cowboy 3. Let's get into it. So I wanted to talk about a few points. Build quality, range, hills, comfort, features and extras, and then I'll be finishing off with my verdict. So first let's talk about build quality. For that, I'll take you guys a little closer to the bike. Quality is definitely very, very well on this bike, I would say. Nicely put together. In general, everything's pretty good. It doesn't make any noise or anything, any rattling when I'm going over bumps. The battery mechanism itself, I find amazing. Taking it out and putting it in feels really high-end. It's all one solid piece of metal, so that feels really nice too in the hands. It's a little heavy, but what are you gonna do? It's a battery, right? The mudguards or splash guards are also very nicely done. When the bike arrived, it had a slight scuff on the front fender. I think you can see that there. But Cowboy was really nice, and they didn't send me new splash guards, unfortunately, but they sent me a paint touch-up kit, and sent me a video as well on how to use it. So that's pretty nice. Pedals and stuff, you know, they're your average plastic pedals, but they're more than good enough for what you need. What I find really nice is, if you guys can see right there, there's a guard on the bike, and that's so that when you remove the battery, it doesn't scratch up the frame, which I find really awesome. One negative point though, the brakes. Since the day I got them, they have been rubbing, and I tried to adjust them, but they're still rubbing. So that's definitely something to be aware of, but it's just a little annoying. It's not terrible. You don't notice when you're biking or anything. Yeah, tires themselves, they're good. I haven't gotten a flat or anything, so I'm assuming they're made better now with the puncture protection that they were talking about. And other than that, haven't had any other issues with the quality of how everything's put together. Feels like a really nice and solid bike. So next I'm going to be talking about comfort. You know, there's not too much to say about this category. It's not the most comfortable bike, but that's because, well, you have no suspension in the front, no suspension in the back. The seat, fairly sporty seat. You have a fairly sporty stance. I'm more of a road bike rider, so I'm not even actually that big of a fan of these handlebars. I find them to be, the angle to be slightly weird. It was starting to hurt my hands after about an hour of riding, just because they stick out so much. They have a lot of pressure on the outside of your hands. But in general, you know, for short rides in the city and stuff, great bike. Wouldn't say it's the best comfort-wise if you're looking to do longer trips on it, but you can only go 70 kilometers on one charge anyways, and I wouldn't ride it when the battery's empty, because then you have the problem of it being extremely heavy. So the range, pretty cool actually. Not what I was expecting. Reviews before and stuff were saying that everyone's getting around 70 kilometers, but me, I guess, since I usually ride over the 25 kilometers an hour, which is when the motor turns off, on the first charge I got 100 kilometers instead of 70, which was crazy. Even with hill riding and going up pretty steep hills and everything, yeah, 100 kilometers. The second charge, I got more around the 80, but that's because I was trying to go up more hills and really try to get the battery empty as fast as possible, and still got 80 kilometers, which is crazy. So yeah, I would say definitely don't worry about the range. 70 kilometers, I got 80 to 100 is more than enough. You don't have to worry about it at all. So I would say if your commute is 30, even 35 kilometers there and then 35 back, you're going to be totally fine. Well, it depends on where you're biking for sure, right? If there's a bunch of hills and you're biking more under the 25 kilometers an hour, then I'm sure you would be able to get under 70 kilometers of range. But if you're a slightly more sporty rider and you basically just use it to accelerate and get up hills, that's the only thing you need the motor for, and then you're cruising at 28, 29 kilometers an hour, then the motor shuts off, so you're not using any battery, and then the range goes up tremendously. Now let's talk about hills. So this is a single speed bike, which means it's great in the city. You don't have to worry about oiling up a chain or anything since it's belt driven. No gears, nothing that can go wrong. Bonus points, that's awesome. But going up hills is a little difficult since you only have one gear, so there's no shifting down to an easier gear if you want to get up a really steep hill. I tested this on a variety of hills. Longer ones that were around 10%, that was okay. It was at my limit, but it worked. I would say a 5% hill, no problem. You can do that for as long as you want because then you can keep up your speed. You don't have to put in too much work. But what I noticed is when I'm going up a hill for long enough, the power, at least for me, feels like it starts to drop off. So I start to not feel that the bike's assisting me anymore, and then it's just starting to get really difficult because I have to just use all my force, and it's a 17-18 kilogram bike depending on what you put on it, right? I have a lock on it that weighs 2 kilos, so that you're at 19, almost 20 kilos, right? And of course yourself, backpack, whatever you want to take along. So that's one thing I noticed was a little weird. I tried to find a hill that I couldn't go up, and I found it. I think it was close to 15 or 20%. I tried it a couple times. It wasn't very long. It was maybe 20 meters or something, 50 meters maximum. And I tried to speed up as fast as I can, get some good momentum up the hill, but it didn't help. Couldn't do it. So I had to push the bike up the hill. But basically, if you are living anywhere in the city or anything where you have some hills, slight hills, you know, not a huge deal, that's doable. But if you know that you have to go up a very steep hill every day and it's fairly long and it's already pretty difficult on your normal bike, and you think, okay, now I'm gonna get an electric bike because it's gonna help me get up this hill, this is not the bike for you. This is great on flats, great on slight hills because then you have the motor assisting you, but nothing too steep, then it's not possible. So now talking about the features and extras that come with the bike. Feature-wise, I think it's amazing. Great feature-packed bike for an e-bike. It's definitely a smart e-bike. You unlock it with an app. It even has this new auto unlock feature, so basically, as long as you have your phone with you, you just take the bike and go. It'll automatically unlock. The lights here will turn on, and you're good to go and ride. It has anti-theft features, so if someone steals it, it has GPS built in and a SIM card, which is pretty crazy. So if someone steals it, you can track it and see exactly where it is. Cowboy also offers their Easy Rider program, which basically for 8 or 10 euros a month, depending on which one you want, you can be covered if someone steals your bike, if you have it correctly locked up. And if you pay the 10 euros a month, then you also are covered if you crash and the bike gets damaged. They will replace it if they are unable to fix it, and same thing when it gets stolen, they will just replace the bike, which is awesome. But now talking about what the bike doesn't have is basically any extras. It comes with the headlight, tail light, some reflectors, and the bell, but that's about it. No kickstand. The mudguards are extra unless you have a friend who has a bike and use their reference code or link, then you're able to get them for free, which is great. Mine, by the way, is linked below, so if you guys are interested in getting one, you can go ahead and click on my referral link, and then you will get a free set of 90 euro mudguards with your Cowboy 3. So yeah, it basically doesn't come with anything. All I put on it is a phone mount because I find that's really important. It's a smart bike that works with your phone. The app while you're driving shows you your speed and the battery percentage, how far you can still go, and even how much power the motor is putting out. From the app, you can also, while you're biking, turn on and off the lights, and you can turn on and off the electric motor if you want to ride without assistance, but I think, yeah, like I said, heavy bike, I wouldn't want to ride it without, always with the motor assisting. I also added a lock, of course, because especially even if you want to use that Easy Rider warranty, you need to have it with a lock up that's a certain standard. So I have the Abus Bordeaux 6450, I think it's called, X Plus. You can even get the Abus Bordeaux 6000, that one is accepted too, but just talk to the customer service team. They will send you a list basically of all the locks that you can get, and you guys can check that out if you're interested in doing that. Other than that though, I'm used to riding road bikes that don't have kickstands, so I didn't get one, and I'm not planning on it in the future because I'm used to riding without them. But if you want one, there are also some available. Unfortunately not from Cowboy themselves, but you can get them aftermarket. And there's a website called Cowboy Tools, which you guys can look up. They basically have tested and made a list of products that are perfectly compatible with the Cowboy 3, Cowboy 2, and the original Cowboy. So if you guys want to check that out, you can do that as well. That's about it for features and extras. Next up, I'm gonna be summarizing everything and talking about my verdict. Okay, so the Cowboy 3, definitely amazing bike, all in all. Has a few flaws. One of them especially doesn't really come with any extras, so you have to buy them yourself. For the price of 2,390 euros, you would expect that it would come with something, especially since its competitor, the Van Moof, only costs 1,998, I think. So that's a problem, but not a big deal. For an extra 200 euros maximum, you're basically good to go. You have whatever you need. Battery life, I would say, is more than good enough, unless you guys are doing big tours. But like I said, since the comfort isn't the best, I wouldn't recommend going on huge day tours with the bike anyways. I tried it, it works, it's okay, but if you would want to do that, then maybe put some different handlebars on it and a different saddle so you're slightly more comfortable since there's no suspension on the bike. Features and everything, if you guys are into a really smart bike, definitely this is the one for you. The Van Moof also has a lot of smart features, so maybe take a look at that one and compare. If you guys really want some gears, you can go for that, but I wasn't a big fan of it since it shifts automatically. Really cool, but I think also a slight gimmicky feature since it's just going to shift. You can, of course, you can set up when it shifts and everything, but I wouldn't be expecting it to shift. So if you're going full power up a hill and then you slow down a bit and it shifts, that would, for me at least, be really annoying over time. All in all though, I would say if you're looking for an electric bike, your budget is around the 2,000 to 3,000 euro mark, and you're definitely looking for something that also looks super cool, because I find the design to be amazing with the integrated lights and everything, and how the battery is removable. That's a big bonus point, since the Van Moof and many other really good looking bikes don't have a removable battery, so that's great. Then I would definitely recommend the Cowboy. Now, for me, I'm going to be sending the Cowboy back tomorrow. Why? I have always ridden road bikes, and I thought, okay, now if I'm going to use this to be riding to school and everything, it would be great, nice and comfortable, and wouldn't have any problems with it. But I've been looking at some other bikes, and I think I'm going for a road bike. In Germany, I haven't seen these in Canada yet. There are electric road bikes, which I think would be awesome, since you have the electric assist for going to school and stuff, so you don't arrive really sweaty, right? That's basically the main reason I got an e-bike instead of a normal one. But it has a motor that you can take out, so I can even use it as a completely normal road bike if I want to, or I can just turn the motor off. It's definitely a lot lighter too than the Cowboy. One thing to think about as well, the motor is not the strongest. It only has 30 Newton meters. Don't know what that is in pound-feet of torque, but 30 Newton meters. And basically the lower end of normal e-bikes, the motors have at least 60, so that's double, right? So you have to think about that as well, and I think that's why it really struggled on the hills for me. But like I said, if you're going in the city and everything, great bike, highly recommend it. Just make sure you don't have any big hills, and you'll be good to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, comment below, drop a like, turn on that notification bell, and I'll see you guys next week.